You had money and you lost it. You had money again and you lost it once more. Actually, this is not a matter of luck. This is a code. And today I will talk about this code. I have experienced this many times in my life. I reached a good place. Then I went back down again. Then I climbed back up. I went back down again. This continued several times throughout my life. Then I said to myself that there must be a pattern regarding this in my life. And after that, I started taking trainings and researching this subject seriously. I researched these for about 10 years. Why is this happening? I am moving forward, so why am I coming back? What is the reason preventing my continuous progress? I rack my brains quite a bit over things like this. After this, it turned out to be a scarcity code. I learned it later. Now I have taken so many trainings and watched so much content that I have learned to a very high degree what the scarcity codes are, how they are unlocked, and how they are found. This changed some things in my life. In fact, it changed most things. First and foremost, my level of awareness in the way things work began to change. The flow changed. The flow entered quite a cycle. It began to increase with beautiful cycles. My income increased. I want to talk about these with you. Now, first of all, we need to discover for ourselves why we are stopping this income increase. Primarily, when our income increases, our subconscious perceives it as a risk. This risk has various codes. These come from subconscious codes. These are very diverse. They can come from childhood, they can come from family, they can come from my environment. For example, one of the biggest codes is, I will be left alone. In other words, I will be excluded by my friends and loved ones. Why would wealth be excluded? Why would a person who is wealthy be excluded? But the code was planted on this side. More accurately, on the matrix side, codes were planted suggesting to people that wealth is not a good thing, that obtaining it provides us no benefit, and even that it makes us more unhappy. These were scarcity codes. We received these scarcity codes for years. The best thing a person can do in their life, one thing they can do in their life, is to read themselves, to learn about themselves. It is to notice the subconscious codes. Scarcity codes come at the very top of these. Already they begin to be noticed after the scarcity codes. Because we are in such a time period right now. Almost all of the codes have somehow become linked with money and wealth. Therefore, solving this money scarcity code means solving many stages of life. We should not see this as just money. Money is one of the varieties of wealth. For example, love is also within this. A person who cannot receive money, a person who does not accept money, will also not be able to receive love at the same time. But we see this as if we just cannot receive money. It is not like that either. After that, when my money increased, I experienced these cycles in my life quite a lot, abundantly, and after that, I said there is something wrong with these. Why is it happening like this? If there is a perception in your subconscious code that money is risky for you, one of these perceptions of it being risky is, my family will fall apart. Why? Because money is not good. My family will fall apart. My home will be destroyed. My loved ones will leave me. Codes like, I will be left alone. Wealth prevents my spiritual ascension. I didn't come here for money, and I cannot progress in my spiritual evolution, are our scarcity codes. Because of these codes, we start to accept scarcity as normal in our own lives. However, our real normal is wealth. Our real normal is abundance. Take a look around at these things. For example, look at the sun. For example, how abundant is the energy, right? There are billions, trillions of hydrogen atoms and plenty of energy. Then look at the sea. There are many living things. Sands are in the billions. Look at the sky. There are planes and birds. Look around you. There are trees and leaves. So actually, abundance is everywhere. We know this abundance from a place where we don't deserve it. They coded us such within the matrix. Actually, scarcity is our normal, as if abundance is something that comes as an extra. I even hear things like this right now. I see this in the people around me too. The population should be reduced. Why should the population be reduced? Because the world's reserves and the world's current state are not suitable to feed this many people. No, it is suitable to feed this many people. It will even easily feed 3 or 4 times this amount. It even has enough resources to let them live in abundance and prosperity. Maybe it is 10 times. I don't know the exact figure. With this increase in productivity, it could be even more. So now, when we look at all of these, well, where do these codes come to us from? These codes were injected into us by the Matrix. These codes were injected into us through our families, childhood times, the people around us, and codes coming from DNA traumas. There are also codes coming from the past within this. For example, the wealth is a burden code. I mean, when you look at this from the past 100 years ago, it really was a burden. You might ask why. If you are wealthy and you have a child, they could be kidnapped. Correct? Because if you are wealthy, there are very few wealthy people. Something could happen to you. You could be kidnapped, you could be killed. There are many things related to this. Consequently, this creates a trauma. And this is passed down through generations via DNA. This is one of those codes. We have many codes like this. I also had plenty of these codes. In fact, when looking at it astrologically, when looking at the North Node and the rest of the details, numerology, etc., something like this emerges. This person comes with too many codes. It says they come with many coats, meaning they come as layers of clothing, and they have to take them off one by one. That's why I am taking off plenty of them. In numerology, my life path number is 33. Therefore, 11s, 22s, and 33s really find themselves in a position where they have to purify and read themselves. Because of this, they have to figure out the system around them. I am one of them too. I had plenty of these codes in me as well. Now I say that if I could solve this many codes, you will surely solve them too. You might not have this many codes. That's why solving these might not be that difficult. Now, today, we talked about these codes. We explained where they came from. We mentioned these. In our next conversation, I will explain in more detail. I will mention these one by one. Childhood-based codes, cultural-based codes, environment-based codes, codes coming through DNA transmission, and the codes that the Matrix has placed in us. We must not forget this. It is a very important thing. The most beautiful gift a person can give to the world and life is to discover their own scarcity codes. When they discover these, the following starts to happen. The Matrix, meaning the world, consists of a consciousness. Just as we are consciousness, every place has a consciousness. A country has a consciousness, and the world has a consciousness. And it takes shape according to us. If we are purified from these codes, it takes shape accordingly when we are purified. And more abundance starts to come. That's why the greatest contribution we can make to the world is to notice our own scarcity codes and to be purified from them. If you have any problems you have experienced before yourself, or if you have awareness regarding these scarcity codes, I would be happy if you write them in the comments. Thank you for listening to me. Take care of yourselves. See you soon.